like that.
68.
With Tighten Up and Life or Death with G&A, when those records came out, that was my great story.
I would say 1975. When I was 10 years old, I went to my sister's Sweet 16. I wanted to battle, but they kept saying, "Get the hell out the way, shorty. This ain't for you." But little did they know, I took them out 5 years later. For listening like that. But yeah, that was my first time. 1975, Sweet 16.
1973, I'm outside. You know, 10 road. And down the block was an MC outlaw motorcycle and Master Crew. They weren't doing the rock as we knew. They were just doing some Latin piano type movements, which was later become the phenomenon called the rock dance. And they were just slashing each other, just dropping down hard drops, doing some wicked splits, you know, like James Brown's crew, and doing some silliness, and I was just watching it. And that's the first time I've seen that type of craziness, you know, because I didn't learn to rock from Bushwick. I'm not from Bushwick. I'm from the South Side Williamsburg. My dance comes from variety shows.
We still love you, Ringo.
You know, they adopted me. My dance comes from watching Michael Jackson, James Brown, Temptations, all those cats. You know what I'm saying? I just put it all together, and when I saw the gangsters doing it, I added that later on. Then when I first got my first glimpse of Bushwick, and I saw what it was all about in their church, in their dance church, and I said, oh, I'm going home and bite that shit. I took it home, flipped it, and made it mine. And then, 74, it was all over. It's time to roast. And that's when we got five.
Church of Rock. That's Holy Rock. Holy Rock. Holy Rock.
I was 2 years old, no. In my crib. No, I was 12, going on 13 in 73, when I first saw burning moves, because the jerk and rocking came a little bit, but burning moves is kind of where it started from. Eddie Figueroa was the first person I saw doing it. And when I saw him do it, I was like, that shit is cool right there. I want to learn how to do that. So as a little kid in my sister's house, when nobody was around, put music on, and I started doing all kind of dumb stuff, you know? And I just kept going and going and going, and just started learning the music, hearing the music, studying the music, hearing every beat, every sound, every symbol, everything, and use that for my burning moves. And then later on, I want to say, not accurate, but 74, 75 is when I started seeing the jerk. And one of the best jerkers that I ever seen was Bboy. That boy was badass, man, with his jerk. He had the hardest jerk ever seen. And I kind of, you know, watched him and became good friends, and I started speaking with his jerk, so to speak. But yeah, I was 12 years old, and still, man, there's years went by, I never danced, but I always put the music on, put my ear to the speaker, and just listen, man, and I remembered all those days, man, when I used to just get out there, those Apache lines and battle, and just good times, man, good times.
Appreciate it, Rama.
Yes, sir.
What's up, brother?
I was in my Pampers. No.
In the womb. Your mom was rocking.
They didn't have Pampers back then.
Diapers. The cloth.
He's still wearing the cloth, by the way.
Around 1970, 71, I grew up in Bushwick, New Cop. I just want to say that Eddie Figueroa, I knew him as well. He was all the type social circle. When I was rocking, I wasn't really rocking. It was a precursor to rock. In 1970, I went out to a club, and it was like this urban feeling to this dance, and I didn't, you know, I like music, I like to dance, but you know, I was really, how can I put it, Pop?
a white boy with 2 left feet. That's exactly what it was. That's right. And what I would do is I would emulate moves from Soul Train. I'm sorry, I can't hear you?
Demonstration.
A demonstration.
No, that's
Okay.
later, huh?
All right.
That's later.
All right. So I'm really good dance. So this graffiti writer from back in the day, graffiti, Skip 123, said, have you ever gone to a club? All right, I'll just give you guys the microphone. Skip 123 took me to a club. And they were dancing, and I sucked, and I'm just moving this along real quick. And they made fun of me, and I said, I'm gonna fucking be the best. In 1 year, I'm gonna kick all your asses. And they laughed again. And sure enough, 8 months later, I was in St. Barbara's Church. St. Barbara. And I was killing it. And that was around 70, 71. And that's when I would say rocking really gelled and really became rocking. Everything that followed before was really soul, funk, urban kind of movements, burning, kind of that came from the gangs, which was kind of fight dancing kind of moves. And then it just gelled. And I would say 71 is my official year of rocking, you know. PJ?
When I got introduced to rocking, all the elements were in full effect already. 77, 78, the rock was amazing. It was an amazing dance. And I mean, you know, some of you are getting there, but when I mean amazing, that everything flowed. Like they're talking about the Outlaws, I saw that when in 77, East New York, there's on Atlantic Avenue, if you guys are familiar with Brooklyn, there was a school called IS 302. And in the schoolyard, the Crazy Homicide East New York chapter used to hang out there. And they would, you know, have a boombox, and they were playing the Sex Boys used to hang out there too. And they used to, you know, just battle each other. They all call it burning. The rock dance, that's the original name, the rock. But they also called it burning. They also called it uprock. That came way later. But burning that's what the gangs used to like to do to each other. And it looked aggressive. It almost looked like the jerk, but then I guess when the dancers, it merged at some time. If you look at the dances, both dances, because these Outlaws are still dancing today, you see them, you see that element, and then if you see the dancers that got it later, it merged. The styles merged, it had to, because then it became, by 78, it was beautiful, all around, style, on beat, and everything flowed. You know what I'm saying? And I used to go to, on beat, not overburning, not under dancing, everything on point. Yeah, and also saw, like I said, my family's from downtown Brooklyn. They're still from downtown Brooklyn, I mean, since the 40s. And I used to go to my cousin's house in the late 70s, and he was already in the outlaw life. He was on with a crew called FMD. And they were a graffiti and rock crew. Big crew. I mean, literally they had a couple of hundred, like 100, 200 members. Rap writers, dancers. And you know, we still have some of them out today, Spice, FMD.